Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome on in. How's everyone doing tonight? As you guys can probably tell, I am very ecstatic right now. I am happy knowing that my Los Angeles Dodgers are just one win away from returning to the NLDS. The Dodgers looked really good tonight. Now, again, the one thing I still have my questions about is the bullpen. If I had hair, the bullpen would have me pulling my hair, for sure. The bullpen makes me nervous. I think the bullpen makes everybody nervous. I think I speak for everyone when I say the bullpen is clearly our greatest weakness, right? Our starting rotation is phenomenal. Blake Snell was absolutely dominant tonight. Blake Snell needed to get the ball in game one because he pitched one hell of a game tonight. That was an absolute remarkable performance from Blake Snell. And people are saying that the Dodgers got the weakest team in the postseason, that they haven't really faced a really good team yet. People are saying that they're frauds and that they, are cheating or whatever. I heard some idiot earlier saying that the Dodgers are the new Astros, that they're cheating, that Shohei Ohtani is juicing and all this other stuff. Like I said before, the world is completely against the Los Angeles Dodgers, okay? I understand that. The world is against the Los Angeles Dodgers. They don't want to see us win back-to-back, and it's rare that a team wins back-to-back, but if there's one team that is capable of doing so and that is equipped to win it back-to-back, it is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Again, the only bad thing about the Dodgers is the bullpen. I have my comments, questions, and concerns about the bullpen, as I have had all season long. The bullpen has been a glaring weakness for this team, right? At the end of the day, all that matters is that you get the win. If you get the win, that's what really matters. It could be ugly, it could be pretty. This game should not have ended the way it did, right? The Dodgers should have not made this where things kind of got interesting towards the end. But when you have a bullpen that is shaky and erratic, and you got guys walking guys, you basically walking them around the park. I mean, come on, you got to get those outs. And this was, I think, everybody's concern going into the playoffs, right? But Blake Snell, man, was amazing tonight. This Dodgers team was amazing. And one thing about the Dodgers is when the home run ball is doing them a huge favor, they are unbeaten. If the balls are flying out of the park, you can forget it, right? You are going to lose to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Sometimes I have a feeling that this team lives and dies by the home run. They are more focused on hitting the home run than just putting the ball in play. I think if they didn't try as hard, if they didn't, swing for the fences as much and just did the simple things and put the ball in play, I think we would have seen more wins during the regular season. But I guess that's irrelevant now. I don't think it matters anymore what they've done in the regular season, because now they started with a clean slate, and now They are just one win away from their 13th straight NLDS appearance. This Dodgers team, I said it the other day, they cannot be stopped if they play like they played tonight. And if they get the same production that they got from the bullpen last season. The bullpen has to be as sharp as our starting rotation. If the bullpen can do that, then we're in pretty good shape. We shouldn't have no problems. You know, the Dodgers did a good job extinguishing a late game push from the Reds to secure game one. You know, could have been better, but I'll take it. It's a win. And now I feel like you could get the job done tomorrow night. You know, I definitely feel like tomorrow night the Dodgers should close out this series. Tonight, the Cincinnati Reds had their best pitcher on the mound, Hunter Green. Hunter Green hasn't had much success against the Los Angeles Dodgers. He usually struggles against the Dodgers, particularly at Dodger Stadium, which is interesting, which is amazing to me because he's from Los Angeles, right? He was born and raised here. He grew up here. It's like a homecoming for him, but he usually doesn't pitch well, and you saw that tonight. You know, the Dodgers, man. At one point, the Cincinnati Reds, man, they looked like they were completely out of this game. Like, it looked like it was going to be just a one run for them. And I just didn't see them even getting as many runs as they did towards the end there. But, man, the Dodgers was just teeing off of them. I mean, there was home runs hit left and right tonight. It was crazy. Shohei Ohtani had a pair of home runs. Teoscar Hernandez had a pair of home runs. And if Teoscar Hernandez is going to be swinging the bat as well as he did tonight, and if he's suddenly going to be that guy that carries this offense, then I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. Anybody who faced this Dodgers team is in a world of trouble if that's going to be Teoscar in the month of October. If Teoscar is going to be hitting home runs and returning to the player that he was during the regular season last year, where there was a stretch in which he carried the team. If that's the Teoscar we're about to see, then all I have to say to the team that has to face the Dodgers, that's going to be the Phillies next. If the Dodgers do advance, good luck to you. Because Teoscar, man, let me tell you, he had a heck of a game tonight. I like what we got out of Teoscar Hernandez tonight. And, you know, that's the Teoscar Hernandez that I've been waiting for. I was hoping to see that Teoscar Hernandez much sooner. But we got that Teoscar Hernandez tonight. And, you know, like they always say, that's when legends are born. Legends are born in the month of October. And when he sent a 3-run homer into the bleachers, man, I went absolutely nuts. I started running laps around my house. I was screaming, man, from the top of my lungs. That's how pumped up I was. Man, I was going absolutely nuts, man. Because it was great to see. It was great to see Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez each homer twice as the Dodgers tie their postseason record with 5 total home runs tonight. 5 total home runs hit in that game. And usually when the Dodgers have that many home runs, they don't lose. They don't lose baseball games when they have that many home runs. So, I mean, this was great. And, man, Teoscar's epic bat flip. I mean, that took me back to 10 years ago. Nearly 10 years ago. When Joey Bats flipped his bat. I mean, that was a resemblance of that moment. Like, it just took me back to that moment, man. That was just a beautiful scene. But, man, Teoscar, and, I mean, if you want to draw comparisons, here's a good one. And I mean, I know you can't compare 2 different sports, but I'm a Laker fan too, so I'm going to do it anyway. And, you know, I'm going to just say this. Teoscar's playoff role, to me, reminds me a lot of Robert Horry. Remember when Robert Horry, I'm trying to remember the year it was, not 2020, but because he wasn't on a team at the time, but 2002, okay? I was still in high school then, a teenager at the time. And Robert Horry, I can't even remember, was it game 4 where he hit the game-winning 3-pointer? I think it was game 4. That's Teoscar's role in the postseason. He's Robert Horry. Okay? He's coming up clutch in big moments. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see from Teoscar Hernandez. And this was a historic night because, look, teammates to both hit multiple home runs within the first 6 innings of a playoff game all time. Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez did it tonight. Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig did it in 1932. Sensational. Just sensational, man. I mean, look, this was the Dodgers team that I think a lot of people had been hoping for, right? And, you know, the Dodgers this summer, they were doing a lot of soul searching. You know, they lost a handful of games, just didn't look like the team we knew all too well. Their offense sputtered a lot of times. You know, they went on one of these crazy, you know, they went into one of these crazy slumps. And when they tried to, you know, break out of that slump, they would just go right back in it. And we saw that a lot. So maybe the offense, I mean, I know it's just one game, but maybe the offense is finally peaking at the right time. You want to hope that's what it is. But man, I would have to say Teoscar is making every one of the $66 million he got this offseason worth it. Man. And right now, he is looking like one of those guys who turns it on when the lights are the brightest. Tommy Edman had a home run tonight too. He also joined the party. He's another guy to keep an eye out on because we know what he did last year when he was traded to LA. he was a big part of our team getting to the World Series and having the success that we had last season. He came up clutch numerous times for us in the postseason. Without him, I don't think the Dodgers win the World Series a year ago without Tommy Edman. I don't think the Dodgers win the World Series a year ago without that bullpen. Because again, you think about it, the bullpen was one of our strengths. You know, now they look a little vulnerable. You know, I think the one guy that I trust the most out of the bullpen is Alex Vesia. Blake Tryon looked pretty solid tonight out of the pen. Enriquez, is that his name? Enriquez, he struggled. He was walking people. Kind of, you know, looked unsettled out there, and was having trouble with his command, it seemed. But hey, you know what? The Dodgers got the job done. I am happy. I can't really complain. I mean, yes, I you know, I could have seen a better ending to tonight's game. And, you know, you can't have the bullpen making these types of mistakes against a team like the Phillies or the Brewers. The bullpen is going to have to be a lot better. The bullpen is going to have to play a lot better. You know, the bullpen is going to have to be our strength again, hopefully. You know, again, the bullpen. Oh, man, I don't even want to get started on the bullpen because the bullpen has been the most frustrating part all season. You know, you watch your team go up 10-2 through 7 innings, and then the bullpen comes in and, you know, just like that, you got a Reds team that's feeling pretty good about themselves because they've scored a few runs to get back in it. You know, an 8-run lead, and this bullpen cannot throw strikes. I mean, that's been the story all year for the bullpen. And I said this the other day when I talked about the Dodgers, when I previewed this series. I said the one thing that needs to be better is the bullpen. If the Dodgers are going to have a chance to repeat, then the bullpen is going to have to be a lot better. But this bullpen, man, they have me worried. I still have my concerns about this team. You know, every time Dave Roberts goes to his bullpen, you're watching this Dodgers bullpen implode. You know, that would have been crazy had the Reds got back in this game, but they didn't. So that's a good thing, right? That they didn't get back in this game. And, I mean, if there's one positive takeaway from tonight's game is that Blake Snell was dominant. The starting pitching looks good. Yamamoto gets the ball for game 2 tomorrow night. He's been pitching like an ace, has elite stuff as well. There's been times where he's had a few bad outings, but he's been one of our reliable starters out of our rotation. You know, you could use Kershaw out of the bullpen. You know, I think Kershaw coming out of the bullpen provides stability. I like Sasaki coming out of the bullpen as well. You know, but we know that this Dodgers bullpen can't really be trusted. It's not that good. You know, I think if that was a contest where it was like, let's say if it was like 5-2 or something like that, we could have lost the game. But fortunately for the Dodgers, they put up a lot of runs tonight, so there was a little margin for error. You know, but I don't know. You should have trust in your bullpen, but I don't know. The Dodgers bullpen, you know, cannot be doing this. They cannot be doing this, especially in postseason games, because not every game is going to be a blowout. You know, you can't be doing this in close playoff games. You can't, because you will lose. And we've seen that more than enough times. You know, them blow saves during the regular season. They lost a lot of their games during the regular season because of their relief pitchers. Right? You know, it was stressful to watch late in that game, in the late innings. It was very stressful to watch, seeing a 5-run lead. You know, I don't know. It was just a crazy turn of events. You know, and so, I mean, it's going to be interesting because I know the Phillies don't have a really, really good bullpen as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. First, we got to win tomorrow's game. I think we will. I think we take care of business in game 2. I think we'll be okay. I think we will get the job done. Again, tonight, the Dodgers looked really good. You know, it's a win, no matter how you slice it. Great win, but again, the bullpen, you know, I think, you know, throwing 59 pitches in one inning is unacceptable. I mean, I know it's the Reds, but it gave them hope that if the game is close, they can score off the bullpen. That's what this did. You know? So I'm just hoping, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that the Dodgers bullpen gets it together. If the Dodgers bullpen gets it together, you know, we'll be all right. 12 more to go. Right? But it was a great start for our boys in blue. Go Dodgers. Let's make it happen. You know, again, Snellzilla was sensational tonight. Got the job done. But, of course, the bullpen didn't do us any favors. You know, and sometimes Dave Roberts, I mean, I don't know about him sometimes because it seems to me that he doesn't know how to manage his bullpen. You know, I didn't like Dreyer coming in that situation. You know, rookie pitcher, you can see, you know, that he's nervous on the mound. You know, this guy looked a little nervous. He did manage to get the final strike out there, you know, which was huge, massive. But I don't know if I would have went with him in that situation. But you guys know how Dave Roberts is. Dave Roberts is a good guy, okay? But Dave Roberts is a puppet, all right? He's an analytical nerd. So he goes based on the analytics, right? We know this about Dave Roberts. I've been knowing this about Dave Roberts for a very, very long time, right? If you watch Dodgers baseball, you know Dave Roberts. He's been around long enough. You know, everybody knows how Dave Roberts operates. Everybody knows how he does everything, you know. But this bullpen, man, look, can't throw strikes. Typical bullpen performance. We know this. We've seen it all season. Enriquez, If I'm pronouncing his name correctly, I always kind of mispronounce his name, but you guys know the pitcher I'm talking about. If you're a Dodger fan, you know him really well. Enriquez, if I said his name right again, can't buy a strikeout when he's out there, right? Trying was on his game. You know, we're in the postseason. You can't take any more free passes and runs. And you can't give up any more runs. You have to be near perfect. This is the playoffs. You know, anything can cost you the series now. You know, so I mean, the Dodgers, man, they gotta be up on their game. You know, no more of this crap from the bullpen. You know, some people like to call it. But I can see tonight that the bullpen is not ready for the postseason. That tonight was uncalled for, right? Everything else looked good. The offense looked really good. The offense came to life in game one. You know, Dodger Stadium was lively. The fans were loud. It was electric out there. The atmosphere. You know, just a great night for baseball. So the offense did what they needed to do. That was one of my big concerns coming into this game. What would the offense look like? You know, Shohei Ohtani sets the tone early with a leadoff home run. That kind of gets things started for the offense. You know, and it was just a good night from there, you know. But the bullpen just made things interesting tonight. And it's clear to us now that the Dodgers have the worst bullpen. I mean, there's no other way around it. They have the worst bullpen. So you have to kind of hope that your starters in your rotation can give you length, can go deep into innings. You know, like Blake Snell did tonight. You know, if you get quality starts from your top end relievers, then you know you won't have to rely on a bullpen as much. But here's the thing with that too. Here's the thing with that. It's the wild card series right now, so it's still early in the postseason. But the deeper you go into the postseason, and if your starting pitchers are overworked, then you're going to have to trust your bullpen. You see what I'm saying? Because your starting pitchers, you didn't wore down their arms. You've relied on them so much that you had them go deep into innings, and now they're suffering from pitcher's fatigue. I mean, we see that all the time, right? Where pitchers are just completely burnt out. We've seen that with the Dodgers before, where Dave Roberts relied on his starters heavily to the point that they were going deep into innings, which was surprising because usually he pulls the guy in the fifth or sixth inning. But we've seen that where he would use some of his starters out of the bullpen, and he would just he would just run them to the ground. Like, these guys are just overworked, and that's the thing that I'm afraid of. Is what if guys like Tyler Glasnow, Yoshi Yamamoto, Blake Snell, are dependent on so much that they become so tired and their arms are just completely worn down. Like they're just, you use them up to the point where their arms are falling off. So that's something to pay attention to as well. But luckily our boys put up 10 runs. This could have been a different outcome with how bad our bullpen has been playing. I just don't understand why the bullpen is having so much trouble since the All-Star break, it seems. They just can't finish. And that's the thing. But hey, you know what? Again, excuse me, I'm happy. The Dodgers got the win. This could have ended, in a disastrous way. This could have ended in disastrous fashion. I'm just hoping that the bullpen doesn't blow it in the next game, or if we advance to the next round. I'm hoping that the bullpen finally gets it together. Thanks for the hearts, people. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Should have signed Joe Kelly for the playoffs. I agree. Joe Kelly became a household name out of our bullpen. I think he is a guy that could provide stability out of the bullpen as well. I actually like that. I was advocating for that, in fact. But as you know, it never came to fruition. So, you know how that goes. But I wish they would have put Bunda on the roster instead of Tanner Scott. Tanner Scott does not belong anywhere near the Los Angeles Dodgers. I get completely I get completely stressed out every time that guy comes on the mound. Like, every time that guy steps foot on the mound, I'm ready to leave the room, okay? And when he walks a batter or when he gives up a run, you know what? Then I'm ready to throw my damn remote at the TV. I am. Sometimes I wish I could literally walk through the TV and just strangle dude. That's how frustrated he gets me. But close call tonight. We survived our dreadful bullpen. We got through it. But again, we can't keep getting away with this. Vesia needs a pep talk, for sure. And honestly, looking at that game, the Cincinnati Reds were one good swing away from making it 10-9. Because if you look back and you remember, the bases were loaded. Had that happened, I wouldn't have been surprised if the bullpen ended up blowing the 1-run lead in the ninth. It's been that way all year. So it's a good thing that they put up the runs that they did to avoid a disaster. Because once again, it was looking like one of those October nightmares for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it would have been a sleepless night for me, because I would have been up all night just thinking about how did they let this happen? Like, trying to process how the Reds pulled off this miraculous comeback, thanks in large part to a bullpen that once again let down Blake Snell, let down the offense, let down the entire city. And, that's something we've been seeing all year because our starting pitchers have been wonderful, right? They've been phenomenal in their starts. And then Dave Roberts would turn to the bullpen, and we all seen the movie, right, ladies and gentlemen? The bullpen always seemed to try to defeat themselves with those walks. It's hard to see it carry over into the postseason. It really is. Keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully they can score 10 plus runs again tomorrow. Otherwise, that super bullpen will find a way to probably blow it. I'm trying to be optimistic, guys. I'm trying to stay positive here. I'm trying not to come off as negative, but I'm just saying, realistically, we know how it's been. We know how it's going. Next time, maybe you let Blake Snell go deeper into the game. Now, again, pitcher's fatigue. You don't want to wear him down. You want to keep your guys fresh. You want to keep them ready to go because you're going to need them if you go to the World Series. By the time the World Series come, you didn't pitch them to death to the point that they are so damn tired, exhausted, and their arms are ready to fall off by the time the World Series comes. So, you got to kind of monitor that too and keep that in mind as well. But I don't like the way this game ended. It was 8-0 in the 7th inning, and then the Reds scored 5 runs. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Anyhow, we'll take the win. Let's finish them off tomorrow again and advance to the NLDS. All right, everybody. You guys have a good night. Thank you, guys. Really love chatting it up. I am the Sports Judge. Please follow this TikTok. Please follow my TikTok. Check out my content. I got a lot of great content for you guys. I talk sports. I am known as the Sports Judge. I'm Jonathan Mathis, the Sports Judge. I am an LA native, a Southern California native. Born and raised, and I like all the LA sports teams, the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Trojans, the Kings, the Rams. I'm LA through and through, but I talk about all sports. I cover sports nationally. I talk about some of the hottest topics happening in the sports world. And if you guys like what you see here, please do me a huge favor. Follow me on TikTok. But guys, I'm getting on out of here now. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. You guys be safe. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys taking the time out of your night to hop on. Check out the content. Glad you guys were fully invested. Hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. See you guys next time. Take care, everyone. How you get out of here? How you end this live? See, I don't really do Facebook Live too much. I mean, not Facebook Live, but how do I end this video? That was the problem the last time, that I didn't know how to end the video. Wait, let's see. Is that how you end it? Oh, yeah, end it now. All right, guys. Take care, everyone.